Welcome to the Fantasy Professionals. I'm your host, Cody Askins, sitting here with my co-host, Dallas Keithley. We're of Secure Insurance Group. We are excited, and football, Dallas, it's in the air, man. It is in the air.
We have suffered through our last weekend without football for 2016.
Until
every weekend.
February.
Yeah. Every weekend for the remainder of the year, there will be someone throwing the old pigskin around. This weekend, we've got the Hall of Fame game.
That's right.
We've also, I believe, and I'm speaking off the top of my head here, so I could be wrong, but I believe there's also a preseason game on Sunday. Do you, how much preseason football do you watch, Cody?
Well, by my fantasy football performance, year in and year out, you would think that I watch every single minute, but that is not always the case.
It's starting early, folks. It is starting early. Now, I, as I've said before on the show, and I'm sure everyone that's listening has listened to every show, so I'm repeating myself, but I don't watch preseason football on purpose. I'll watch some of the highlights, stuff like that, because you're going to see a guy will go off and have a great game,
right,
but you never know if he's playing against a second-tier defense, you know.
Sure. Yeah,
so,
it's not something to base your season or your draft off of. But, yeah, you're right. The Hall of Fame game this Sunday, August the 7th, Green Bay at Indianapolis, 7 o'clock.
Very nice. We have a great show lined up today. We are going to have a gentleman that we've had on the show before, one of my favorite guests, Mitch Sanderson from The Score, is going to come on later and talk to us about running backs. We're going to talk about our top 5 running backs today.
A little duel, a little debate.
Yeah, and I'm kind of starting to feel I'm the dad that never lets his kids win at anything, but I'm almost feeling like letting you win today.
Well, by your age, you could be my dad. So, you know what? I guess that applies here.
Age and other things. But, anywho, some news this week. My first article, I tried to find some articles that hadn't been, already dragged through the mud. This first one is one of my favorites. I am not an Eagles fan. We're both Cowboys fans.
Absolutely.
And as I was reading this, have you noticed that like several of the other other hosts on the air they will not back a team on purpose? What are your thoughts on that? For example, I don't want to mention any names, but other big famous radio hosts, and they do it for a living. I understand that.
Right.
They will not back a team. They don't support a particular team.
Yeah. I think you will agree. We want to, if we're a supporter, we don't want to hide it. We want to be honest. We want to be transparent. And you know what? We are some of the biggest Cowboy fans in the Springfield, Missouri area.
Well, yeah. So I said all that to kind of preface this article. Howard Smith of USA Today wrote this article. He said, and the title is, "That Was Dumb. McNabb rips the Eagles for drafting Wirtz." And when they drafted Wirtz, that was one of my favorite draft picks in a long time because I think it was one of the dumbest draft picks I've seen in a long time. They went up to get him, and you can say, well, and it's nothing against Wirtz. Here, let me read you. If we remember correctly, to preface the article, the Eagles just gave Sam Bradford or Wentz. I'm sorry, I've been saying Wirtz.
No worries.
The Eagles gave Sam Bradford a multi-year extension. They also gave a 3-year, $21 million contract to Chase Daniels, Missouri's own Chase Daniels.
Well, and Sam Bradford was so good that, you know what, you might as well extend that contract out, keep him with the Eagles. Cowboy fans are happy.
Well, and what I'm thinking they must be thinking is 2 dumb moves make a smart move or something. I really don't know.
2 negatives equal to positive.
2 negatives equal to positive. But
well, they're high in the draft. Carson Wentz is he's a good player. He played at a real mid-major, almost low-major school. I even thought it wasn't even Division I because it's like as close as you can get to not being there.
Never seen him play. But Donovan McNabb said, you signed Sam Bradford to a multi-year deal and give him big money. Then you trade picks to move up to number 2. That was dumb. McNabb told Dan Levy. I mean nothing against Carson Wentz, but why would you do that? That's just a bad business decision from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, it makes you think that they are not that they're giving up on this season, but that the long-term picture is more important for the franchise of the Philadelphia Eagles than it is short-term. By the way those things align, you've got you signed Sam Bradford to a multi-year extension, as you said. You inked Chase Daniel to another 3 years, $7 million a year.
And Chase Daniels, I think Chase Daniels is a great backup, and I think that's he knows his role.
I don't even know if I agree with that.
Well, he's
truthfully, I mean
I may be being too kind.
He's okay.
Yeah,
he's right.
But
He's a Missouri boy, but
He is.
He's
He
okay.
is. But I love the move. Being a Cowboys fan, and
I'm sure you
now
do.
to be fair, I was extremely happy with what the Cowboys did, but I did not like having the number 4 pick this year. There was nobody that stood out to me.
At least they're making some moves. I mean, yeah, the Cowboys drafted Elliott, but you know what? If you look at, and I'm as big of a Cowboys fan as any, when you look at other teams and the way they've stacked their teams and spread out their talent, and I don't know where the Cowboys spend their money. I have no clue. I mean, I guess Romo, Dez, and offensive line. I mean, that's it.
And a lot of rehab, personal bodyguards, stuff like that. We can say that because we're Cowboys fans.
Right.
We can say it. Let's get on before we start.
That's where all Dez's money goes, is keeping him out of trouble.
Absolutely. Another story before we get called homers. Antonio Brown. We wanted to get to this story last week, and we just ran out of time. Earlier last week, Brandon Marshall came to Antonio Brown, and he wanted to make a bet with him. He said, I will trade, he said, put up your Rolls Royce against my white Porsche for who has the most yards. Well, this week, Brandon Marshall got his answer. Antonio Brown said, first off, Brandon Marshall don't own a Porsche. That Porsche was actually a Jets car. Brown said, tell Brandon to call me when he's for real. And then he said something. He said, maybe he could buy my fans dinner every end of the day that ends with a Y. And a couple things I saw here. Number one, that's a cop-out to me. Antonio Brown, put your rolls up there.
Well, you wouldn't think he would need to prove himself after having Antonio Brown has 1,834 receiving yards last year to Marshall's 1,502. Yeah. I mean, Dallas, we're looking at 300, and I'm as big of a Brandon Marshall fan as any. He's an athlete. He's a stud. He's a great receiver. But we're looking at 332 yards less. And you're going to call someone out to make a bet, make a wager?
I love it. I
like the fact that he's doing it. It's pure entertainment. It's fun. It's good. But he doesn't have the recent statistics to back it up.
So you're just proving me right. Antonio Brown, step up, take his Porsche. Yeah. If there's nothing to worry about, step up and take it.
Well, the reason, another reason he won't even do it, he says that it's not even Marshall's Porsche. He says it's owned by the Jets.
I tell you what. Marshall, and I haven't seen his portfolio, but I believe that he could go out and get him a Porsche if he really.
You would sure think so.
And for the publicity, maybe the Jets would allow him to give that Porsche away. I don't know. But the second thing I see though is Antonio Brown is doing now. My kids will tell you I love dad jokes, and. Making dad jokes. Antonio Brown tries to make a dad joke there. Give him maybe he can buy my fans dinner every day that ends in Y, and it just failed miserably. Sure. So I'm a little bit offended as a dad. I'm a little bit offended that he tried to make a dad joke and he's given. And I don't know if Antonio's Brown is a dad, but he's given dads everywhere a bad name. Now, if he wants to challenge me to a dad joke off, we can go all day, and I'll take his Rolls Royce.
That'd be all right.
I'll put up my 2004 Jeep, and it's mine, Antonio. I can put it up there with confidence.
The Jets don't own it.
Very nice.
That's a cool article, though. Just to spice it up a little.
I love it, man, and
it's fun to see.
Brandon Marshall has been very active this offseason, saying that Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback this year. I love Brandon Marshall this year.
He's trying to almost verbally win them a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
when we know it's not going to happen.
No, I'm not saying they're going to win a Super Bowl, but I think Brandon Marshall will be a stud wide receiver in fantasy this year.
Antonio Brown will outdo Brandon Marshall by more yards than he did last year.
Boy, what kind of car you got? Because we could put those up. I'd almost take that wager. But another story here. Kevin White of the Chicago Bears came out this week and kind of made an odd.
Hey, this is by Mitch, who's coming on later.
It's Mitch Sanderson's article, absolutely. Well, let me just read it to you. It all started with Marcellus Bennett after he left the Chicago Bears. Marcellus Bennett, the article says, lambasted, I can't say it, Cutler with the worst quarterback in the NFL label. He felt compared to share a previously unreleased quote from the June article with receiver Kevin White. Marcellus Bennett came out and said that Cutler is the worst quarterback in the NFL, called him several choice names, all this stuff.
Which thank you for not using on the air.
Yeah, Dwayne is smiling over there, so I want to come on next week, Dwayne. But then Kevin White comes out and he says he's just a great guy. We need to clean Jay's name up. He has a bad rep for no reason, and I don't like it. I came in and everyone was telling me Jay's a blank. You're going to hate Cutler. I was like, I want to get to know the dude first, and kudos to him for that.
Sure.
He says just not true, and then he says Jay is like the pretty girl that doesn't wear makeup and doesn't go out, so nobody really knows that she's pretty. I can think of a lot of other ways to tell people that. To get my point across, that Jay Cutler is better than people think. Saying that he's the pretty girl that doesn't wear makeup and doesn't go out. I get it, I guess.
Well,
we're talking about it.
He's always been talked about huge because of his, he'll throw a couple interceptions a game, it feels like, and, almost lead the NFL in interceptions. But, I mean, from a fantasy standpoint, from a game management standpoint, with the occasional flashy pass and the occasional decent game, he's not bad.
No, if I were a Bears
way
fan,
worse quarterbacks.
If I were a Bears fan, I would hate him because the game is never safe.
Right.
Of course, you're never out of a game either because he may come in and throw 4 touchdowns in a quarter.
He can get hot.
But as a fantasy player, you might as well plan on 2 to 3 interceptions a game.
He's someone you can pick up really late.
Yep.
And he'll put you up.
Great
he'll
for a
put
bye week.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20 points a week. And in a lot of standard leagues, that's okay. We like to see around 20 points. So
yeah. Here was another article that I was sad to see. Mitch Sanderson also wrote this one. He said
Mitch has been busy, man.
Mitch
has been busy.
Our show would be kind of void without Mitch,
Look at Mitch go, man. Mitch of the score.
Chiefs agree to turn with Nick Foles. And as a Cowboys fan, I didn't want to see that. I really wanted Nick Foles as a backup in Dallas.
Well, sure, because Romo doesn't have a lot of time left.
No.
He just doesn't.
Well,
he's 36.
I don't think Nick is the future. I think Nick had a couple seasons ago that was an anomaly, of a flash in the pan, if you will. And so, but
Nick is better than people think.
That's true.
I was hoping we would get. I felt like he would be as good of a backup as you can get in our league, and I was hoping the Cowboys got him, the Kansas City Chiefs, can tell all the Cowboys fans, hey, thank you.
Yeah,
Chiefs, you're welcome.
Well, let me ask you this. This brought up this question for me. If you're a backup quarterback, where do you want to play in the NFL?
Ooh.
For me, the first.
If I'm going to be a backup?
If you're going to be a backup.
Well, right now.
I know what's coming.
I wouldn't be a backup, but you know what? I'd love to play for the New England Patriots. I'm a backup, especially right now.
The second one that
Jimmy
I thought
Garoppolo's got a pretty good little deal worked out there.
Was Denver. Because you're behind Mark Sanchez. He's not going to be there all year.
And a young quarterback. That makes sense.
Good team, But yeah, it makes you wonder why you would pick that over the Cowboys.
Right.
So.
And we've got another article coming up as soon as we get back from this break. We're going to talk about Terrell Owens. Could he still play at the age of 42?
He thinks he can.
We will talk about that when we get right back. You're listening to the Fantasy Professionals.
You ready? Let's go.
It's panic time. The boss just asked you when that new building will be completed, and you haven't even started yet. Well, don't panic. Call the name you know, General Steel. You've known General Steel for decades, and you know they'll save you about half the cost and about half the time of conventional construction. But did you know that General Steel has provided buildings for some of the biggest names in business and government? And did you know the General can provide pre-construction planning services for your total project? And I'll bet you didn't know you can get General Steel quality and save thousands. For example, a 40-foot by 60-foot building for under $22,000, or a 50 by 100 for under $35,000. That's right, 5,000 square feet for under $35,000, and all with General Steel's 50-year structural warranty. So don't panic. Call now and lock in some of the lowest prices this year. 866-96-STEEL. Call 866-96-STEEL today. Quick, the boss is coming. That's 866-967-8335.
When's the best time to enjoy Twisted Tea? When you want the taste of real iced tea, but with a kick. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea is brewed like a beer, but tastes like real iced tea. Cool, refreshing, smooth, with a kick. Twisted Tea.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Drink responsibly.
Gentlemen, start your engines. Race over to Jock987.com to play the Village Inn Jock 98.7 Fantasy Racing Challenge. Win great weekly prizes like delicious Village Inn pies and a grand prize trip for two to the 2017 Daytona 500. That's the Fantasy Racing Challenge at Jock987.com. Brought to you by Village Inn locations in Springfield, Ozark, and Republic. But no need to race in. Breakfast is served all day. Ready for a different cleaning service? With Quality Clean janitorial services, you're never stuck with a long-term contract. You can cancel anytime with 30 days notice. And Quality Clean is affordable. In fact, Quality Clean hasn't raised their rates for existing customers in more than 7 years. Quality Clean's employees are highly trained and wear uniforms, so you always know who's in your business. Quality Clean, your local cleaning expert since 2003. Learn more about Quality Clean at springfieldofficecleaning.com.
I'm Brian with Secure Insurance Group. Secure is an independent agency located in Springfield, Missouri. Do you have health issues? Have you been declined for life insurance? With Guaranteed Issue Life Insurance, there are no health questions, no medical examinations, you're guaranteed coverage. You can purchase up to $40,000 of Guaranteed Issue Life Insurance. A simple rate for $10,000 of guaranteed coverage for a 50-year-old is $28 monthly. Call Brian at Secure for a free quote, 883-9300. The number to call is 883-9300.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Professionals. Sitting here with Cody and Dallas of Secure.
That segment went by extremely quick.
That was fast. What do you guys think? Was it fast for you? That was quick.
Was it
wait,
fast
no
for
one's responding.
No one's responding.
That was so
868-6100. We're getting ready to do some trivia here in just a minute.
We will.
But,
very soon. We're going to get into a little bit of a Hall of Fame.
We're going to talk Hall of Fame
which
snubs.
makes me think of a Hall of Fame type lighting.
Very nice.
Locally in our area. And they're actually growing and expanding. 417 Lighting Specialist is owned by Jeremy Johnson. You can call them at 655-1283. They are your local LED and electrical service provider. Call Jeremy Johnson today for your lighting and electrical needs. Jeremy actually texted me. He was back on his way from vacation. I think it was last week or early this week, and he was listening to some of the shows on YouTube through audio. He loved them, and he was going to pass it on to a lot of his guys at the 417 Lighting Specialist. They do a phenomenal job. They worked at our office. They're all fantasy football fans as well.
And the thing about 417 Lighting is they're going to save you money in the long run, because for me especially, I was looking around my house, a lot of my fixtures are outdated, and so I know they're costing me more money.
Right.
Jeremy can help you go more green, can help you save money.
He's helping a lot of businesses save money by going LED. Just to think about the fact
LED.
of going LED, that's the new thing to do, and we don't think about it. We get lost in time, and hey, let's catch you up, baby. Let's catch you up.
It's what the cool kids are doing.
That's right. Call Jeremy Johnson at 655-1283. Who's excited to talk Terrell Owens? I've always loved T.O.
I don't know that I can say I've always loved T.O. T.O.'s one of those guys that if he is on your team,
sure,
you love him. If he's not, you hate him. And I
think he's the best athlete of all, the best athletic receiver of all time with the worst hands. That's a weird thing to say, but he would just absolutely dominate and then lead the league in drops.
Yeah.
When he played for the Cowboys, it was
I think
true.
that's a very fair assessment.
Yeah.
I think so. There's an article that was put out this week. T.O. came out and said, Caitlin Holroyd said that T.O. says that he could finish with 1,000 yards, be a 1,000-yard receiver at age 42. And
he's probably still shredded as ever, too.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
It would be interviews, and he'd be sitting there doing push-ups, sit-ups in the middle of an interview with his shirt off, just absolutely ripped.
Yeah,
look just like Dallas.
I think you need glasses. But the thing that makes an elite athlete is their talent, is their ability, but it's also their mindset.
Right.
And T.O. still has that mindset. Now, could he come in and help a team? Probably not. I wouldn't think so.
Sure.
But he's still got – I follow him on Facebook. He's one of my favorites to follow on Facebook and Twitter. The guy says what he's thinking.
And he would be very entertaining.
It's very entertaining. And I think the guy has some demons.
Right.
If you watch him, he's had some problems. So, and that leads us into a big question. Should T.O. be in the Hall of Fame?
I think he should. If you look at it depends. I mean, if you keep it on the field and you look at his statistics, absolutely. If you counter in the fact that maybe some off the field stuff was not Hall of Fame status, or the fact that he showboated and ate popcorn in the middle of games and ripped offensive coordinators and whatnot, then maybe not. That's kind of a controversial deal.
Well, and it leads you to the question of how much should off-the-field antics play into the Hall of Fame decision?
Right.
And I think it has to play some.
It has to play a little
because
bit.
it's a respected group. It's a respected position. And the thing that makes a Hall of Fame the Hall of Fame is the fact that it's hard to get into.
It is difficult to get into. Hey,
So-
we're going to continue talking TO. Call in right now. We got a trivia question by Kobe. 868-6100. Call 868-6100. 1-800-869-5927. Again, 868-6100. Call in. We got a Kobe trivia prize to give away. $20 to Kobe Hibachi and Sushi, which my wife was about to go to earlier.
As I was walking out the door, I hear
She was
I
headed
asked
over
her,
there.
Where,
She
where are you going? She's at
loves
Kobe's.
that happy hour sushi. She just is infatuated with it. So call in. We'll talk. We're going to ask you a running back question,
Going to talk some running
which
backs.
is the theme of the day. And so call in 868-6100 and get a chance to win some trivia.
We have some callers calling in. While we're waiting on that one to come through, here's who's going into the Hall of Fame this week: Brett Favre, Marvin Harrison, Tony Dungy, Kevin Green, Orlando Pace, which that one it's about time, Eddie DeBartolo, Kenny Stabler, and Dick Stanfill. And so a good class going in. Brett Favre, definitely a first ballot Hall of Famer. Orlando Pace, I don't know how he hasn't gotten in.
Right.
To me, he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
So we've got Cliff on the line. And Cliff, are you ready for your question and try to win you some Kobe? All right, Cody's going to read you your question.
Thanks for calling in, sir.
Bet.
All right, Cliff. Again, this question is brought to you by Kobe, the best hibachi and sushi you will ever find in Springfield, Missouri, or in other states as well. They are located on National and Montclair here in Springfield. The question is, Cliff, which running back holds the record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single season? Which running back has the most rushing touchdowns in a single season? Is it A, Eric Dickerson? Is it B, Barry Sanders? C, Adrian Peterson? Or D, LaDainian Tomlinson?
Most touchdowns in a season.
By a running back. Yes, sir. That's right, Cliff. What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm starting to think that it's Adrian Peterson, but I want to say Dickerson.
Well, we need you to say one or the other. I love what you're trying to do there.
I'm going to go with Eric Dickerson.
Unfortunately, that is incorrect.
That is
Cliff.
incorrect.
I'm very sorry. Thank you very much for calling to the show and wish you a great weekend.
Thanks, you too.
Thank you, sir.
We've got Roger on the line. Roger, do you need us to reread the question, or have you got this?
I do.
Okay. Go ahead and reread that question for Roger.
All right, Roger. Which running back holds the record for the most rushing touchdowns in a single season? Again, the running back with the most rushing touchdowns in a single season. Is it Barry Sanders, Adrian Peterson, or LaDainian Tomlinson?
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, Roger.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
You are
LaDainian
absolutely correct. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner, Roger. Way to step to the plate and slam dunk a touchdown, sir.
That's my line.
All right.
Can you tell me how many he had?
I do not.
I don't even know.
28. He had 28 rushing touchdowns that year.
In one
passing
season?
In one season in 2006.
Oh, my goodness.
He nobody else has even really come close. There's been a couple guys, but nobody's come close.
That
Roger,
is huge.
that's a great guess. Roger, who should be in the Hall of Fame that's not in the Hall of Fame?
Oh, good question. I'll go on the baseball side and say Pete Rose.
Okay,
I would
see?
completely agree with you.
See, that's where Cody and I we had that argument this week, and I didn't know whether to bring Pete Rose up.
You got to bring him up, man.
Yeah, I'm torn on him. The only reason I'm torn on Pete Rose is it's in every clubhouse in America. Now, you can argue that
The fact
a lot
that you
of
can't
people
gamble
do it,
on the
that
game?
you can't gamble on the game.
You can't permanently ban someone for making a mistake. And I'm sure I'll get some flack for that. But
I
you know
can't
what?
argue
Roger
that
and I
either.
are, we see things eye to eye, man.
Roger, thank you. If you'll stay on the line, Dwayne's going to get some of your information and enjoy some Kobe.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That was
thank
a
you.
great guess by Roger. LaDainian Tomlinson, 28 touchdowns in 2006. Again, that trivia question was brought to you by Kobe Hibachi and Sushi over on Montclair and National, just south of Battlefield and National. Go over and check them out. Owner's Don. Tell him the Fantasy Professionals sent you. He'll hook you up with some of the best hibachi and sushi in the entire city.
Yeah, and the one thing, and we're going on and on about Kobe, and we apologize, but one thing that I love about Kobe is I am my wife gets on to me because I don't eat real sushi, the raw stuff and all that stuff.
I get it fried.
I love it fried, and they will fry anything you want, and of course not anything you want, but pretty much anything in the restaurant, you ask them to fry it, they'll do it. And so that we enjoy that a lot. We want to talk more about sports Hall of Fame snubs. Give us a call, 868-6100, 868-6100. A couple names that stand out to me. Of course, we talked about T.O. Kurt Warner, the greatest show on turf quarterback, is not in the Hall of Fame. Roger Craig, the running back that was with T.O., or I'm sorry, with not T.O., with Jerry Rice, Joe Montana. Roger Craig put up Hall of Fame numbers consistently, has 2 or 3 Super Bowl rings, and is not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
who else
he
belongs
shouldn't
in the
be.
Hall of Fame? 868-6100.
You got some good names there. I mean, you got, you got John Lynch, you got a little Ty Law, Jimmy Johnson coming in, and the dude could have won as many Super Bowls as he wanted in Dallas.
But was he there long enough? That's
Probably
I think
not.
my only thing
Probably not.
with Jimmy Johnson.
He got out early while he wanted to, and while his Jerry Jones sanity was still there.
Yeah, I think, and that's one thing. That's when I really started. I'm not a huge Jerry Jones fan. I mean, he's built a great team, but man, how many Super Bowls could him and Jimmy won together? I mean, Barry Switzer won the next year, and
Right.
so I don't know. Another name that came up for me was Torrey Holt. You've got the guys, and Isaac Bruce, both greatest show on turf, never not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
that's a good list there. You got some guys that are arguably super close to that. I mean, you really, really do. I mean, that could be several weeks of shows with all the guys that are potentially, and you could even incorporate Pete Rose or whoever else.
We've got Aaron on the line. Aaron, who do you have that should be in the Hall of Fame?
Well, I really I've got a question actually, a fantasy
Okay.
question. I mean, talking about all this is great, but let's talk some fantasy.
I'm in. Let's do it.
So I'm in an IDP league, have been for several years, and it seems like every year it's just completely a crapshoot as far as who the top IDP performers. I mean, obviously it's usually linebackers,
Right.
but
It is.
it's sometimes a crapshoot. Do you guys have any insight in draft strategy around IDP? And I'll hang up and listen to your comments. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Thank you very much for the call. That's a great question because that's a tougher tougher position to rank. But you know what? It's actually becoming more popular. I know one of the guys that I've been seeing that I think will surprise some people. Is some guys that I love to draft in those positions. I mean, you got Michael Bennett from Seattle. You got Aaron Donald from LA. I mean, we've got obviously J.J. Watt's the number 1 ranked IDP player overall.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a great question because that's a lot of people don't play IDP leagues. I've done some IDP drafts.
Yeah.
I don't love them, but it's a lot of fun and it incorporates some extra players into a league.
You are asking 2 Cowboys fans to pick a linebacker. We haven't had a healthy linebacker play all year, and as long as I can remember.
Chandler Jones out in Arizona. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll give you my top 50. I'm not going to give you all 50. I'm going to give you 5. Top 5. I just wanted to mess with Dallas there for a second. Top 5 defensive linemen this year. J.J. Watt, number 1. Khalil Mack, number 2. Carlos Dunlap, number 3. Robert Quinn, number 4. And Aaron Donald, number 5. That's my quote-unquote top 5 defensive linemen for 2016. Hopefully that helps. Thank you very much for the call, Aaron.
Aaron, thank you for the call. My number 1 pick is Dr. Papagayo. That was one of the worst segues in the history of sports radio. Dr. Papagayo is our dentist. He's over at 640 West Republic Road, Suite 124, 883-8448. Go in and see Dr. Papagayo. I read a letter this week on Facebook. One of his clients wrote in.
This
and
was an
they
impressive
said,
letter.
They said, I just want to drop you a quick note to thank you for all that you do. You are the best dentist I've ever had, and I am forever grateful that I happened to find you. The team you have at your office is like family, and you all work so well and professionally together. Thank you for helping with my root canal and crown. You are so generous, and I truly appreciate that. I read that letter, and I thought, you know what? I couldn't say it any better. So give Dr. Papagayo a call, 883-8448. Tell him the fantasy professional sent you.
Everyone needs a dentist. Call him. Give him that number one more time. Call and go see him. I'm serious. He is phenomenal. It's the best dentist experience I've ever had.
883-8448.
We will be right back after a short break. You're listening to the Fantasy Professionals.
Hey, where's the drums?
Ooh, girl, you're shining.
Would you like a nice workshop or maybe a backyard shed for your lawnmower? Do you need to move a bunch of stuff out of the garage so you can park your car inside? Cedar Ridge Buildings can provide that extra storage space and make it easy on your wallet. We have rent-to-own plans available with no credit check and easy approval. If our building can be delivered fully built, you're approved. Visit us at cedarridge.com or see us at 2951 West Kearney, Springfield.
Cedar Ridge, Cedar Ridge. I get a portable building from Cedar Ridge.
Join the Jock at Casey's General Store in Wheatland this Saturday from 11 to 1. Driver Joe Duvall will be there with his race car, and you can pick up a coupon for $2 off admission to the evening race at Lucas Oil Speedway. It all happens Saturday from 11 to 1 at Casey's General Store in Wheatland. Meet Joe Duvall, see his car, then save $2 on admission to Top Flight Racing at Lucas Oil Speedway. See you there.
Experience an unforgettable journey at Bike MS. With more than 100 extraordinary rides across the country, you can find yours at bikems.org. Join us September 10th and 11th for the Bike MS Ozarks Ride. Register today. Don't just ride, Bike MS.
For me, it was the big S-Class from the 90s. Beautiful. My friend's dad had one.
The SL. All of the SLs. I've been watching those since I was a kid.
I think the 1971 SC was the first Mercedes that just blew me away.
Everyone remembers the first time they saw one, and the day they began to long for a Mercedes-Benz of their own. Well, that day may be a lot closer than you think. With a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz, you can experience the luxury and safety Mercedes-Benz is famous for at a price you can afford. Beautiful SUVs, sedans, coupes, and convertibles that are factory certified and covered by an unlimited mileage warranty for up to 3 years, so you can drive without a worry for as far as you like. And during the certified pre-owned sales event, now through August 31st, you can receive 2 years of complimentary prepaid maintenance and 0.99% APR financing on select models, available through Mercedes-Benz Financial Services. You've waited long enough.
See your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer for complete details and limitations on certified pre-owned warranties. APR offer available only to qualified customers. Call 1-800-FOR-MERCEDES for details about costs and terms.
Imagine it's 6 o'clock on a Tuesday and you realize you forgot to tune in to Sports Talk on location at Play It Again Sports and Mad Bear Fitness. Disappointed? So are we. This is Art Haynes. Make sure you tune into the Jock each Tuesday at 4 for Sports Talk, where we'll discuss the day's biggest sports headlines, have guests, and take your questions and comments. That's Sports Talk on location at Play It Again Sports and Mad Bear Fitness in the Fremont Center in Springfield. Mark it down each Tuesday, 4 to 6, Sports Talk.
I'm Brian with Secure Insurance Group. Secure is an independent agency located in Springfield, Missouri. As an independent agency, we shop the top-rated life insurance carriers so you always get the lowest rate. If you're a 40-year-old, a $500,000 10-year level term is as low as $16 monthly. With term rates lower than they've ever been, there's no reason not to have the protection you need. Call Brian at Secure for a free quote, 883-9300. The number to call is 883-9300.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Professionals. I'm your host, Cody Askins, sitting here with the one, the only Dallas Keithley of Secure Insurance Group.
Very nice. Great question by Aaron. And that is, I'll be really, really honest, that's something I got to learn more about, is IDP leagues.
It's become more prevalent in recent years.
I've done mock drafts, but I've never played in an IDP league.
Right. You know what else has become more prevalent in recent years?
Well,
Mr. James from James Construction.
You have got to put on a class on segues because I'm just blowing it today.
Kenny James from James Construction builds homes, barns, complete remodels, home repair, new construction, roofs, skid steer service, anything you can think of that is construction related. I've seen some cabins, Dallas. I've seen some homes that he's built. I've seen some pole barns. I even helped him. Believe it or not, I don't have an ounce. I guess I got an ounce. I work hard, but I helped him build a barn back when I was in high school. I didn't really help with the barn much. I just removed some nails and stuff. But yeah. Yeah, so call Kenny James today. If there's any construction-related need between Rogersville and West Plains, Kenny is your guy. He's been doing it for, going on 20 years, if not a little longer. Call Kenny, 926-9139. Please, if you have a construction need, a remodel need, a home need, a bar need, Kenny's got his own team of construction specialists and construction professionals that do a phenomenal job. They are quick. They are not as expensive as most people would think. Truthfully.
I did construction for a while. I always wanted to get on a T-shirt. I do it nice because I do it twice. That is not Kenny James' motto. As a matter of fact, I know Kenny spends a lot of time fixing a lot of other people's mistakes. So if you've got something that has been done and you don't like it, give Kenny a call. He'll come do it right.
He's very picky. Call Kenny James at James Construction today, 926-9139.
On the line, we have one of the biggest show contributors, as is obvious by all. I think we read 2 articles today by the one, the only Mitch Sanderson. Mitch, how you doing?
Great, guys. How you doing?
We are doing phenomenal. Thank you for coming on. Mitch Sanderson is with The Score. If you guys do not regularly, if you do not have The Score app on your phone, and that's simply The Score, you need to get The Score app on your phone. It updates me and talks to me more than pretty much anybody else I know.
Hey, Mitch, do you know, this is Cody. Hey, Mitch, do you know where I got where I actually looked up the NFL schedule and the Hall of Fame game that it was Green Bay against Indianapolis? What app do you think I used to look that up?
I bet you used our app there.
You are exactly right. I've looked at 100 apps. Yours is the best by far. I'm dead serious.
I have 2 sports apps on my phone, Fox Sports Midwest because I'm a Cardinal fan, and The Score. That's all I've got. So
I use it for all games.
Appreciate the praise, guys.
Hey, no problem. Well, we are getting closer, Mitch, and we are talking running backs today. We've been looking forward to this show. We kind of tried to save them for last because we're old school, and we love us some running backs.
Yeah.
And what we were wanting to do, Cody and I, we've been going the last couple weeks. We've ranked our top 5 QBs. We've ranked our top 5 tight ends, wide receivers. We're going to rank our top 5 running backs, and we would like you to kind of input and judge and tell us who really, if I win it, I think it will be a sweep.
Yeah. Hopefully this will build you some confidence going into the season because I don't know when the last time you beat me in our league.
Well,
once in the last 12 years.
We'll have a show on that next week. But so I didn't prepare you for this, Mitch. I didn't tell you what we were doing today, so I hope that's okay with you. And then we'd like to talk.
No, that's fine.
We'd like to talk some sleepers. We'd like to kind of let us know who you think is going to have the breakout year, who's going to be the Devontae Freeman of the year. And I'll go first. My number one, and this is really hard because 3 weeks ago there was an outstanding number one. I think no questions asked. It was Le'Veon Bell.
Absolutely.
He's not my number one. I've got to go. I'm going to surprise a little bit. I got to go David Johnson.
Are we doing standard or PPR?
I'm doing PPR.
Okay.
For PPR, I'm doing David Johnson. For standard, I got to go Todd Gurley.
Okay.
All right.
We actually have it. I've got Gurley number one on both.
So number one on both. Okay. I like David Johnson. Your thoughts, Mitch?
I'm a little cautious about David Johnson. For one, I think all the talk has been great. How he finished last season was phenomenal. But I'm always very cautious about players who finish one season strong, whether it be their rookie year or their breakout year, and then there's a lot expected of them the next year. I'm not super confident that David Johnson is going to get all the looks that he got last year because they have a whole healthy backfield again. Chris Johnson's back there, Andre Ellington's back there. I think all the talk has been that David Johnson has been great, but I'd be a little cautious to put him number one overall. I think he's about number 4 on my list. But I think he's got that potential. Absolutely, he's set up in a fantastic offense. But I'm just very cautious that defenses have adjusted and they didn't know what to expect last year, and now they've got enough tape to kind of figure him out a little better. So I think he's going to have a big year, but I would proceed with caution on David Johnson.
I'm throwing caution to the wind, baby. I'm going all the way with him. Cody, who you got number 2? Let's start PPR.
Okay, I had Gurley 1. I have, I think I'm going to even surprise Dallas, maybe Mitch as well. I'm seeing so many different running backs there that are close, but I'm the guy that takes the risk, takes a little bit of a gamble. And so I dropped Le'Veon Bell 1 spot on my PPR rankings. I did. I got him 2.
I can't
Wow.
put him. I can't do that.
I think I'm still waiting to hear back on the appeal, whether or not that goes through. I think he may have his games reduced, which would kind of change things. Right now, 4 games for me, that's a quarter of the season. That's a little too much. If it got reduced to 1 or 2 games, I think Bell comes back up there, especially with how volatile the first 2 weeks of the fantasy season are going to be. There's going to be breakout guys, so you can kind of make up for a lost Le'Veon Bell. But if you go 4 games, that's a quarter of your season, of the NFL season. That's even more of your fantasy season. So that's just a little too much for me. But if the appeal comes back positive for Bell, that could change.
It can't. Yeah, I'm kind of estimating a 2-game suspension at the most. I don't. Honestly, I couldn't see him doing more than that.
I
but
can't
you know
imagine
you never
him
know
going
with the
more
NFL.
than 2 games. I'm surprised it hasn't already come out. To be real honest with you, do you know? And this is we're putting you on the spot. Do you know when his appeal is scheduled for?
It's scheduled. Mike Tomlin said it's scheduled around August 18th. So next 2 weeks or so.
That's why we love Mitch Sanderson.
About that.
Yeah, you ask a question, you get an answer.
If you sign up, if you go to the app and you sign up for all the alerts for all the teams, you can find out stuff like that too. But for that one, I think it'll be closer. I mean, it should still be ahead of when most people draft in their fantasy league, so that there should be time to figure out where you want to put him. But I think we're still a couple weeks away.
Sure, very nice. For number 2, I had, of course, David Johnson in PPR. Or I'm sorry, in standard, I had David Johnson. Number 3 in PPR, I have Mr. Lamar Miller. I like him there.
Lamar Miller.
Who?
Yeah, Lamar Miller from Houston.
Wait, Mitch, what did he say? Well, what's up, buddy? Who is that?
Come on now, give me some
I
love.
think Lamar Miller, he's a breakout candidate for sure. I think I like, just like I say with David Johnson, we're a little cautious, or he's kind of like a rookie where he's coming to a new team. We're not 100% sure how much action he's going to get or how well he's going to fit into that system. I think he's a player to keep an eye on during the preseason, just to see how is he feeling. But I think he was incredibly underused in Miami.
No question
really
about that.
criminally underused. I think that was a big reason why they went with a new coaching staff, new front office look there. But he's got all the potential in the world. He can play. He's almost like a younger Arian Foster. He's got that potential anyways. He didn't get to use his potential in Miami. So I think it's still out on Miller. That's, again, a little higher for me. I think I'd put Adrian Peterson still ahead of him.
Too much coffee for Dallas.
I told you, I'm like the dad that feels bad for his kid, and I wanted to let him win one. Very nice. Who do you have at number 3 there, Cody?
I have Adrian Peterson at number 3.
Very nice. In standard, I've got AP. Standard, I've got AP.
Yeah, I think Adrian Peterson, he's 31 now, but I think you still need to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's still in great shape. I'd almost, like, that season that he missed, I'd almost consider him a 30-year-old right now, and that offensive line's gotten better. I think that whole offense is really
absolutely
going to improve now that they've moved back indoors. But I think Adrian Peterson, until he shows that he doesn't have it anymore, I think you have to give him the benefit of the doubt. You can't really take him out of that top 3.
No, not at all.
Yeah, no,
not at all. Not at all, Dallas. Not at all.
His age scares me, of course. I think I can't disagree with you though. I'm trying to. Cody always tells me I'm the old man, always looking at the old people. So I'm trying to go young here. I'm trying to bring on the new generation, but it will not surprise me if AP comes out and rushes for 1,200 yards this year.
Let's just kick out the elders of the NFL. That's fine. No.
You've served your purpose. Time to head down.
That
the
was
road.
What was your? Did you give us your 4?
Number 4, I've got Bell across the board, standard and PPR.
Okay.
And how far should you let Le'Veon Bell slip in the draft?
Not much farther.
I mean, if he's there,
I think on my list right now, he's with the 4-game suspension, he's 6 on my list. But
I can see that with 4.
Again, I think that suspension could get reduced, and if so, I expect to move him up. I'm especially in PPR leagues. He might move to, if he's going to miss 1 or 2 games, I might keep him in the top 2, just because the loss of Martavis Bryant there, he's going to see more action. Antonio Brown's going to see more action, especially in the passing game.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the one thing that Bell being suspended does, that locks up Antonio Brown, PPR, probably in standard, as the number 1 player overall, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
it definitely would. So you said 4. You said
I've got
Marshall
Bell.
Faulk? Oh,
Yeah.
Bell. Okay.
Yeah, going back to the old,
Down
really
at
old
number,
guys.
Down at number 4.
And then number 5 PPR, I've got AP. Number 5 standard, I've got Lamar Miller. Again.
Okay.
So.
I've got
All right.
Ezekiel Elliott 4 and David Johnson 5.
Wow.
I really like Ezekiel Elliott. He's somebody I'm very excited about.
Bum.
I'm usually pretty cautious about rookies, but he looks so good, and that offensive line is fantastic. I think if Romo and Bryant can stay healthy, we can see a similar season that DeMarco Murray had a few years ago. I personally think that Elliott's a more talented player than DeMarco Murray. It's going to be hard to see how much he can translate in his first season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think of that top maybe 6 backs, he's the one I'm most excited about anyways. I don't know if I'd put him number 1, but he's the one
Sure.
that I've got a lot of hope that he's going to do some special things this season. I like Lamar Miller. I think anytime a guy like that changes teams and gets another shot is interesting to see. And we really seen about half a season of David Johnson. So those 3 are really exciting, but Elliott is a rare prospect.
Yeah.
And I think he's got the best offensive line in football. So that can only be, there can only be so many bad things that happen, I guess.
Sure.
Right now, I think he's a little limped up, but it's early training camp. He's being held out. I wouldn't take any little nicks and a guy sitting into practice too seriously at this point in the year, because teams don't want to risk an injury.
No, what I'm hearing is that Mitch Sanderson is a Cowboys fan this year.
Yeah, I don't like to throw my support behind teams too much. Try to keep some journalistic integrity, but I think that offense has a lot of potential. Now they are also 1 or 2 injuries away from repeating last season.
I think they're either going to be 8-8 or they're going to win the Super Bowl. One of the two. It's
well, I
that's
think one thing you got to remember for them too is their defense is not on par with the offense right now. Really no pass rushers. So in terms of fantasy wise, they're very exciting. But I don't know in terms of Super Bowl hopes. I really think that defense has a ways to go before they think of the Super Bowl.
We just got to keep the offense on the field. Real quickly, give us a sleeper. Who should we really look for? Cody and I both picked a name. We actually both picked the same name, but I'm interested. Who's somebody that you should take in later rounds that's just going to tear it up this year?
One guy I've seen slip down the boards is Giovanni Bernard
Okay.
with the Bengals. I think him and Frank Gore I've seen go very close to each other, 5th or 6th rounds in some mock drafts, and to me both those guys are going to be lead backs. But Bernard, especially his strength in the passing game, with the Bengals losing their top 2 receivers and not having Eifert, and possibly now losing their second tight end as well. He's going to get a lot of targets, especially in PPR leagues. I think he's going to be a big earner.
Right.
And I'm kind of hesitant to call him a sleeper because I think he should be going higher, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I chose Charles Sims, and he said Thomas Rawls. So yeah,
right.
some great picks.
It sounds like Mitch has crowned me the champ today with
I
the
think
whole.
so.
I was kind of feeling that way.
I gave it up.
Mitch from The Score, thank you so much for joining the show, sir.
All right, thanks for having me.
Great to have you
day,
again,
guys.
sir. Hope to have you on very, very soon. Once again, thank you so much, Mitch Sanderson from The Score.
Very nice. We've got, I want to tell you about our bank, First National Bank. We've been banking there for years, 4108 South National. We've got 2 branches there in Clinton, 417-823-9600, MyFNB online. Go in there, talk to Aaron, talk to Natasha, talk to Angie. They'll treat you right. They'll answer their phones like a local bank should. We can't say how much we appreciate them helping us out with the show.
They are awesome. They're such a great bank. Check out First National. Go over there off South National. They are our banks, and we love them. We really, really do. You are listening to the Fancy Professionals. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Wayne Glenn. Cherry Tree Homes. Mike Davis brings you simply a better way to build. Cherry Tree Homes. While others build a house, Mike Davis will build you a home. Land, home, financing available all in one place. www.cherrytreehomes.net. Mike Davis from Home Matters brings you a one-stop place for building the home of your dreams. You pick where you want to live, your school district, pick your home plan, and the financing is all lined up. www.cherrytreehomes.net, www.cherrytreehomes.net.
We at Missouri Storm Shelters understand the number one obstacle to owning a safe room is cost. When it comes to the safety and security of your family, cost can now be the least of your concerns. Missouri Storm Shelters is proud to offer our customers the industry's best no-cost financing offer. For a limited time, qualified customers can get 0% for 60 months and no payment due for 60 days. To learn more about our no-cost financing offer, visit MissouriStormShelters.com today.
We are a nation of overachievers. We didn't just invent the TV. We jumbo-sized it and hung it in a football stadium. Now you can watch football while you're watching football. So why have we settled for mints that cover up bad breath instead of getting rid of it? We deserve better, like Breath Savers. It's a high-def Hail Mary catch of a mint with Nutrizin, which is scientifically proven to neutralize bad breath. Breath Savers. It's the overachieving mint.
I'm Brian with Secure Insurance Group. Secure is an independent agency located in Springfield, Missouri. As an independent agency, we shop the top-rated life insurance carriers, so you always get the lowest rate. If you're a 40-year-old, a $500,000 10-year level term is as low as $16 monthly. With term rates lower than they've ever been, there's no reason not to have the protection you need. Call Brian at Secure for a free quote, 883-9300, or email me at brian.askins@secureig.com. Our website is secureinsurancegroup.com.
It's panic time. The boss just asked you when that new building will be completed, and you haven't even started yet. Well, don't panic. Call the name you know, General Steel. You've known General Steel for decades, and you know they'll save you about half the cost and about half the time of conventional construction. But did you know that General Steel has provided buildings for some of the biggest names in business and government? And did you know the General can provide pre-construction planning services for your total project? And I'll bet you didn't know you can get General Steel quality and save thousands. For example, a 40-foot by 60-foot building for under $22,000, or a 50 by 100 for under $35,000. That's right, 5,000 square feet for under $35,000. And all with General Steel's 50-year structural warranty. So don't panic. Call now and lock in some of the lowest prices this year. 866-96-STEEL. Call 866-96-STEEL today. Quick, the boss is coming. That's 866-967-8335.
Welcome back to the Fantasy Professionals. I'm your host, Cody Askins, sitting here with Dallas Keithley. Thanks for listening, and thanks for tuning in.
Thank you also to JBG Painting. Jake Gillette over there, 825-4919. If you mention that you heard it on this show, they'll give you 20%. He upped it. He added it 15.
20% off
Took it
of
up
a
to
painting.
20% of a painting job.
Dude painted our whole office.
You take your
in a couple
wife to
days.
Kobe while Jake Gillette is painting your office or your home. That's a win-win. There's no doubt
Your
about
wife's
it.
going to love you.
Both ways, yeah. And so give Jake a call, 825-4919. Come in, make it look like a new place, give you a facelift on your home or office, 20% off if you mention that you heard it on the Fantasy Professionals. Guys, we are running out of time. We've had a great show today. Wanted to continue talking a little bit about sleepers in the NFL when it comes to running backs. We both, Cody and I, before the show, picked Thomas Rawls. Seattle is going to run the ball.
Sure.
And with
that's an offense. That's an offense set up for his success. Hey, real quick, who do you have as potentially being overrated this season?
Potentially being overrated. That's a great question.
I've got C.J. Anderson. He's around the 8 to 12 mark on all rankings.
Yeah.
He killed me last year. I drafted him at the end of the first round, and C.J. Anderson from the Broncos just absolutely killed me.
I think everybody's going to put 8 in the box and make the Broncos throw the ball this year because Mark Sanchez is sitting back there.
I don't see it getting any better without Peyton. I really don't.
Another one that comes to mind, Devontae Freeman, Mark Ingram. I've never been a big fan. I think Devontae Freeman had a breakout year. They're going to see him. They're going to yeah.
Sure.
I think so.
That's good. Thank you everybody for listening today. We want to make sure that if you have a life insurance need or a Medicare need, or you just want to shop your insurance, please think of us, Cody and Dallas at Secure Insurance Group, and please call our office, 883-9300, and ask for Cody or Dallas. We want to thank our sponsors of our show. We've got Kobe, 417 Lighting, First National Bank, Dr. Papagayo, James Construction, and JBG Painting. Thanks for listening to the Fantasy Professionals, and have a great weekend.
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engine. If your driving skills are top-notch and you're looking for a career change, Fry Wagner wants to hear from you. Maybe you already have a Class A license, or you're an over-the-road driver wanting to spend more time at home. Fry Wagner will even help drivers get their commercial license, providing on-the-job experience, training, equipment, and not to mention a great sign-on bonus. Call Fry Wagner today, 417-831-4000, 417-831-4000.
It's a little bit of Germany right here in the Ozarks. The 43rd Annual Freistadt Lions Erntefest, Friday and Saturday, August 12th and 13th. Enjoy traditional German food like bratwurst, sauerkraut, and German potato salad. There'll be entertainment and concessions for the kids nightly and live music both nights. And of course, a beer garden. The parking is free. Don't miss the 43rd Annual Freistadt Lions Erntefest, Friday and Saturday, August 12th and 13th.
Adding the choice of a crispy chicken BLT to Wendy's 4 for $4 is the biggest thing since rappers trying to sing.
I got me a yacht and I sound like a robot.
But do you like the sound of this? Wendy's 4 for $4 now comes with a choice of a junior bacon cheeseburger or a crispy chicken BLT.
From Detroit to Macon, I keep it crisp like bacon.
Both are topped with crispy applewood smoked bacon and come with 4 nuggets, fries, and a Coke for just $4.
Oh, yeah.
At participating Wendy's for a limited time, meal includes small fries and a drink. Not valid in Alaska and Hawaii.
If you're looking for a night of fun and laughter, then join us for the Not So Newlywed Game supporting the Betty and Bobby Allison Ozarks Counseling Center. The fun begins at 6 p.m. on August 12th with heavy appetizers and silent auction. Then things really heat up with some of the area's top couples as we find out who's been paying attention all these years. Call us at 869-9011 or go online to ozarkscounselingcenter.org to reserve your seats today for only $75 each. You won't want to miss it.
There are two kinds of hot. One is where a walk to the mailbox leaves you thirsty. But with Metro PCS, you get the other kind of hot, the good kind. Because now, when you switch to Metro PCS, you get a free Samsung Galaxy. That's a really hot deal. Visit a Metro PCS store to get your free Samsung Galaxy On 5 with a big 5-inch HD screen. And get on the fast nationwide 4G LTE T-Mobile network. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figured out. Coverage not available in some areas. Sales tax not included. Not valid for numbers currently on the T-Mobile network. See store for details, terms, and conditions, and data management info.
When you make the switch to Pennzoil Synthetics, you're making the switch to next-level performance. You're making the switch to the modern synthetic motor oil, made from natural gas, not crude oil. You're making the switch to the same technology that won the Daytona and Indy 500 in the same